In this week's parasha, Behaalotecha, we have ourselves our two pesukim of Vayibin Saron, Vayomar Moshe, and we have ourselves the pasuk of Venucha Yomar, those two pesukim, those 85 letters that are surrounded by the backwards nuns, what we call the Shaar Nun in our Divrei Torah. And Baruch Hashem, we sent out many Divrei Torah over the last years on the topic. Please PM me for those that want the depth that was known as on our Divrei Torah as the Shaar Nun, the 50th gate of wisdom. As Chazal tell us, there are 50 gates to wisdom. Moshe Rabbeinu was zochet at 50 minus 1, meaning in his lifetime, he was really only able to hold on to 49 levels. And we've spoken in the past different hints to this concept of 50 and 49 throughout the Torah. We mentioned in last year's Dvar Torah, we spoke about the menorah at the very start of our parasha. The Gaon Mevilna notes that when it comes to the menorah, when you count the number of branches, the number of ornaments, the prachim and the kaftorim, the buttons, all the different ways that make the menorah look beautiful, you get to 49 pieces when it comes to the menorah. We also spoke about the Lamanatseach Shiviti Teilim, that itself also has itself 49 words making up the words of the menorah. And according to if you spell out Maleh, you have 49 letters in the middle of the branch. You have all these concepts of 49, and then ultimately hinting to the 50, and this 50 being a level that we don't get to on our own. We spoke about Shavuot as well. Shavuot is 49 days, and then we don't count day number 50. Day number 50 kind of happens on its own. Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't fully understand how to make the menorah until Hashem gives it to him as a matana at the very end. So with this concept of 49, but also trying to get to the higher level of 50. So I saw another idea that follows in the same approach. This is in Sefer Siach Yitzchak, this is Rav Yitzchak Isaac Chaver. He has a very long piece, a very long drush, known as Drush Nifla al Inyan Bet Nunim Hafuchin. It's a Dvar Torah all about the backwards nuns, and he goes at length in almost every aspect you can possibly think of. So he has another of one of these 49 concepts, but he relates it to the Kriyat Shema. He says we have two backwards nuns. Why? Because twice a day we're supposed to say the Kriyat Shema. We have Kriyat Shema according from the Torah. Biblically, we have Torah in the morning and we have Torah at night. So each of those two Shmas corresponds to a nun. He says, and why a nun? Because if you take the first two Pesukim of the Kriyat Shema, we get ourselves to 49 letters. You take Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad and Baruch Shem Kol Nochoto Le'olam Va'ed. You put those together and we get ourselves 49. So I had seen a couple other Sfarim bring down this idea of the 49, and the question is, okay, how do we get to the 50? So the idea is, okay, the 50 kind of happens on its own. That's always the way it works. But he says beautifully, he says, if we go to the word Echad, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, the ayin is very large in the word Shema, but also the Dalet at the end of Echad, we're supposed to ma'arich in the Dalet, or maybe nowadays you do it in the Het sound, but we're supposed to have these. Why is there a big Dalet in the Torah? By the word one. By the word Echad, the Dalet is big. So first off, we're lacking our last one. We're lacking our last gate, our last shar. So in the word echad, one, the dalet is larger, but he says, v'dalet de'echad higdola mashlim le'oto chamishim shu ikar yichud. He says the concept of the oneness of God. What is Shema Yisrael? Shema Yisrael is accepting the oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So in the word echad, in the dalet of the word echad, that's the ikar yichud. That's the real unity that we do in the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We've spoken many times in the past that we have ourselves the concept of echad versus acher, the dalet versus the reish, the dardar, the red. It's the mistake between having other gods, believing in other gods, acherim versus echad versus the oneness. It's the difference between the dalet and the reish. So you make the dalet very large. You have a big dalet. You're focusing on the concept of there being a yichud. There's only one God. There's no other forces outside of Kadosh Baruch Hu. So we have ourselves 49 letters. We have ourselves the upper yichud and the lower yichud, the Shema Yisrael and the Baruch Shem, the one that we declare out loud for everybody to hear, and the one that we say to ourselves, to our own personal hearts. We have the double level of the yichud. That's 49 letters, but the 50th is hinted to in that big dalet. And then he says, when we make a Kadosh Baruch Hu one down below, a Kadosh Baruch Hu is making us one up above. You know, it's the famous Gemara that says that our tefillin has Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. We make Hashem one down below, and the tefillin of a Kadosh Baruch Hu has Mika Amcha Yisrael Goy Echad Ba'aretz. He makes us one above. And then we have all of these different ideas that we saw the back of a Kadosh Baruch Hu's tefillin. That's the dalet in the back. That's the achdut, the dalet that makes up that knot in the very, very back. That's all the oneness of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. We have the right strap, the left strap, the chesed, the gvura. It's all the same hanaga. From the front, it looks like separate, but in the back, it's all tied together. That's the koch of the echad. That's the koch of the one. So getting back to the Siach Yitzchak, Says of Yitzchak Isaac Chaver, he goes, and this concept of the oneness of God, this concept of the Daled that we're doing in doing the Kriyat Shema, the 49, we almost get to the 50. So where is the 50? So he says, Vehu nekudat hamerkaz hatalui b'machshava levad, v'lachen gam ot 50 b'Kriyat Shema eno mitgaleh, ela b'machshava b'gadluto adal de'echad. He says that ultimately, though, to really fully grasp this oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we can't really understand it. It's not on our levels. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, maybe Rabbi Akiva, maybe he reached that level, maybe, and Moshe Rabbeinu at the end of his life, maybe Har Nevo, maybe at Matan Torah he got it. But this concept is only a higher level of thought that's only in the realm of machshava. So he says, therefore, the Dalet is larger. Even though we don't have that 50th letter there, the Dalet is larger, and we think the thoughts of the oneness of God at that point, because in the machshava, that's the only place. It's not mitgaleh, it's not openly revealed in a letter, but it does have a certain spot over there in the larger Dalet. Shabbat Shalom.